In this video, I'll be showing you how to mod a Nintendo Wii. Modding a Wii unlocks the full extent of the console, allowing you to do a bunch of things such as install homebrew apps and themes, run emulators, overclock, and much more. For this process, a few items are needed such as a Wii console, an SD card, and a way to transfer files from your computer to the SD card such as a USB to SD converter. With that, the first step in the modding process will be to navigate to your Wii settings. Here we will make sure that your Wii reflects the current date and time. Next, if you look in the top right corner, you'll be able to see your Wii version. For me, it's 4.3, which is the latest version. Now, if your Wii happens to be on a lower version, then you'll actually need to go into settings and update your Wii. Lastly, within settings, we're going to make note of our console's MAC address, as we will need this later. Now on your PC, we will start off by ensuring your SD card is formatted to FAT32. If it is formatted in something else like exFAT, such as mine is, then we will actually have to download this application called Rufus, which is linked below. Within Rufus, we will select our SD card and ensure that non-bootable and MBR are selected. Then we'll go down to File System and select FAT32 and hit Format. Afterwards, you can verify that your SD card was successfully reformatted by navigating to Properties. Now that our SD card is formatted, we will navigate to the following websites and enter in our device's specific information. Up here for System Menu version, this information can be found in the Wii Settings as seen on the screen on the left. Likewise, your MAC address can also be found in Settings as seen on the screenshot on the right. Once complete, you can click on either the green or pink button to proceed. This will then provide you with your specific Wii brand output where you can then download the zip file. Within the file we just downloaded, we will then move both the private folder and the boot.elf file to the root of our SD card. Also within our SD card, we can just go ahead and delete these two auto-roam files as these were left over from Rufus when we reformatted the SD card. Back within the Wii, we will plug in our SD card and head over to the Wii message board. Here, you will need to scroll either a couple days in the future or a couple days in the past until you see this green message icon. Once you found your message, click into it. Now, if you get a black screen and nothing happens, nothing's loading, don't worry. This is a common issue as this sometimes takes several tries. Just simply restart your device and keep selecting the green message until it works. You'll know it was successful once you see this page. From here, you'll grab your Wii remote and click 1. This will then bring us to the HackMii Install page where we will then choose to install Homebrew Channel. Afterwards, we will navigate to BootMii menu and install BootMii as iOS. Now that the install is complete, we can return to the main menu and exit. This will then boot us right into the Homebrew channel, and on this page we will click the Home button on our Wii remote and click Launch BootMii. Here you will actually need to use the buttons on your Wii console to navigate the menu. For reference, the power button will be your navigation, while the reset button will be select. With that, we will select the gear icon all the way to the right and click the first option with the green arrow. Now don't worry, this process will take some time as it's creating a backup of your system. Once the NAND dump is complete, you can click any button to exit. Here we will use the buttons on our Wii again and select the arrow on the far right, followed by the Wii icon, which will send us right back to the Wii menu. Next, we will take our SD card back to our computer and create a folder on our PC and call it Wii Backup. Here we can move both keys and NAND bin files onto our PC as these contain the Wii Backup. Afterwards, for cleanup, just feel free to delete all files but BootMii. This being said, I'm actually just going to keep the bin files on the SD card just for the heck of it. Now we'll head over to the USBLoader GitHub page and download the forwarder channel file. And remember, all these links will be provided below in the video's description. Likewise, on the same repo, we will need to scroll up to Releases and download the USBLoader zip file. Also within GitHub, we'll head over to the Tiny Wii Backup Manager and click into Releases. Now this will vary between users, but for me, I'm going to download the standalone Windows version. Next, we will download Nintendo, followed by Preloader Installer and load preloader files. And to wrap things up on the site, we will go ahead and download the HackMii as well as the Homebrew browser file. Finally, our last download will be this custom iOS WAD file from the Google Drive provided below. Now that all files are downloaded, we will begin to transfer files to our SD card. As seen, we will first extract the contents of each folder shown and begin to move them to the root of our SD card. Now, fair warning for this section, I'm actually going to speed up the video as it can get a little repetitive. That being said, feel free to slow down the video on your end if needed. Now, once the contents of the Homebrew browser folder have been transferred to our SD card, we will then have to manually create a new folder called WAD. Here we will transfer the following WAD files to this folder. With that, we should be left with one file called TinyWii Backup Manager that has not yet been touched. We can now go ahead and run the executable within the file. For context, this application will be used to upload games to your Wii, and to do so, you'll just click the plus button and select the game from your PC. For me, I'm just going to choose my Angry Birds file. And after you see your game load in, I would suggest heading over to the Toolbox menu and selecting Download All Covers. Once complete, we will eject our SD card and head back over to our Wii. Within your Wii's homepage, load into your new application called Homebrew Channel. Here, we will go down to Preloader Installer and select Install. Next, we will go into Load Preloader, and within System Menu Hacks, we will enable the following settings. Afterwards, click Save Settings and go back to the Homebrew channel. On the next page, we will select HackMii. Here, we will first select our SD slot and click A on our remote. It will then ask us to select certain WAD files to install. Click the plus button on the remote and choose the first 4 files by A to install. Then we will choose the last file titled USBLoadergx and click Install as well. To exit this, we will click the Home button, which will send us back to the Homebrew channel. On the Homebrew channel, we will now select USBLoadergx followed by Exit to System Menu. Back on the Wii homepage, we will load into the newly downloaded USBLoadergx. This will serve as your new modded Wii interface where you can access all your games and Homebrew applications. As you can see, you can also change the layout of your modded Wii by selecting the button at the bottom right corner. And just to give you an idea what your modded Wii could look like, here's what mine looks like with all the bells and whistles. As you can see in the beginning, I actually ended up installing a custom theme, which I will go over in a future video. With that, I hope you found this video helpful, and thank you for watching.